Good morning, doctor. My name is Fu Shaoqi, and metric number 305028. Today, I will present my individual assignment for credit risk management. My research topic is factor affecting credit risk of Bank Saudi Fransi in Saudi Arabia from 2015 until 2024. This study focused on identifying which factor significantly influence the bank credit risk. First, let me explain the background of this study. Credit risk refers to the possibility that borrowers fail to repay their loans. This is one of the most important risks in banking because it can reduce profitability and threaten financial stability. The main issue is that both internal bank factor and external macroeconomic factor may affect credit risk. However, it is still unclear which factor have a stronger impact on Bank Saudi Fransi. Therefore, this study aimed to analyze this factor over the period of 2015 to 2024. There are three research objectives in this study. First is to determine the impact of internal factor on credit risk. Second is determine the impact of external macroeconomic factor on credit risk. The last is to determine the combined impact of the both internal and external factor on credit risk. Based on this objective, the research question asks whether these factors have significant relationship with credit risk. Based on previous study, credit risk is commonly measured using the non-performing loans ratio or NPL ratio. This ratio shows the proportion of problematic loans compared to total loans. The variables in this study are divided into two groups. The first group is internal factors such as ROA, liquidity, loan loss provision, leverage, risk-weighted assets, bank size, and etc. This reflects the bank financial condition. The second group is external factors such as GDP, inflation, interest rate, exchange rate, and two-year curve, and etc. This represents the overall economic environment. Past studies suggest both factors can influence credit risk, but internal factors usually have a more direct effect. For methodology, this study used secondary data. The data are collected from annual report of Bank Saudi Fransi and Saudi Arabia macroeconomic data. The sample period covered 10 years from 2015 to 2024 with 10 observations. This study used IBM SPSS statistic for analysis. The main statistical method used is multilinear regression using coordinate least square. Three models were developed. Model 1 is analysis internal factor. Model 2 analyze external factor, and the last is model 3 analyze both internal and external factor together. Next are the findings. From the descriptive statistic, the mean credit risk is 0.0239, showing that BSF credit risk remained relatively low during the study period. For correlation analysis, loan loss provision of or LLP show the stronger positive relationship with credit risk, which correlation value 0.792. This means when LLP increase, credit risk also increase. Meanwhile, bank size measured by LN size show the stronger negative relationship at negative 0.881. This means larger bank size help reduce credit risk. One variable that is not significant is GDP because its relationship with credit risk is weak. Based on model summary, Model 1 and Model 3 both have R square of 99.81%, which means they explain most of the variation in credit risk. However, when comparing adjusted R square, Model 1 is stronger, with 0.9916. For ANOVA, only Model 1 is significant because its p-value is 0.007, which is less than 0.05. Model 2 and Model 3 are not significant because their p-value are above 0.05. This indicates that internal factors are more important than external factors in explaining credit risk. In conclusion, This study found that internal bank-specific factors have a greater influence on credit risk compared to macroeconomic factors. Among all variables, LB and RWA increased credit risk, while bank side reduced credit risk. Therefore, Bank Saudi Fransi should improve its credit evaluation system, strengthen risk monitoring, and maintain better asset quality management. This action can help the bank control credit risk more effectively in the future. That's all from my individual assignment presentation. Thank you.